Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elisa and I own a micro bakery in Iowa. And I just wanted to start to share some of my recipes. I started as a State Fair award-winning chef, baker, and then opened this micro bakery once COVID hit. So I just have some really fun recipes, some really unique recipes, and some really simple recipes that I think everybody can do. We're gonna get started with meringues. Not the meringues you get at TJ Maxx that are 2 years old, all crunchy. Beautiful, nice vanilla meringues that are a little soft on the inside and delicious. So, we're gonna start with our mixer. This was my grandma's mixer. I'll tell you about her sometime. But it says plug, used to say unplug. We're gonna leave it plugged, always. All right, so I'm gonna crack some eggs, separate some eggs. I don't like to do them straight into the bowl because I don't wanna get any yolk in it. I want the whites separated from the yolks and I want them to be very clean. So I'm gonna separate into this bowl and then I'm gonna pour this in. And we want three egg whites. And the yolks, I always keep the yolks. There's always something I can do with them. I'll make ice cream, really easy to make ice cream out of the yolks. I'll make like a lemon curd, delicious on everything. You can make ice cream and put lemon curd on top of it. So I got a little crazy and put 2 eggs at once and then the yolk broke, but I think we're still good. So put that in. That's 3 large egg whites. If you're getting really specific, it's about 100 grams of egg whites. I would suggest not using the egg whites in the carton, but if you're in a pinch, you could probably make it work. Now, I am gonna measure my sugar just because it's easier and I don't have a 3/4 cup. It's always the first to go. Always the first to go. So I'm gonna measure out 150 grams, which is 3/4 cups of just plain white sugar. And I'm going to turn this mixer on and you won't be able to hear me anymore. It's like a magic trick. So I'm gonna turn this on. Just know that I'm slowly adding in this sugar in a very slow stream. We don't wanna pour it all in at once. We want it to kind of go slowly. So just to stabilize the eggs, I'm gonna add a little bit of cream of tartar. I'm adding just about 1/2 teaspoon, but I wanna add it now so it can get really mixed in well. So I'm gonna add that in and you can see it's pretty goopy still. So we wanna mix it, we kind of have a long way to go here. So we're gonna take a break here for a second and we're gonna add in some vinegar and some vanilla. The vinegar is also gonna stabilize these eggs. We want them to be really stable. So we're gonna add just about a tablespoon of vinegar into here. And I am also going to add my vanilla. So I make my own vanilla. It's so easy, but leave me a comment if you want me to show you how to make my vanilla. It's easy, don't look it up, but it's easy. So I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of that, maybe 2. And you measure vanilla with your heart. So we'll start it back up. I would say we're getting close to being stiff peaks, not quite there. So we're done with this, we're gonna check it. It looks like it's kind of formed a ball onto the whisk here. And also when you rub it between your fingers, you're not feeling any of that sugar grit. So all of that sugar is mixed in. If you do feel some sugar grit, just give it a couple more minutes. All right, so what I'm always tempted to do, I don't know if you've ever seen that video where the guy just puts the whole thing in his mouth. The whole whisk goes, I'm very tempted to do that, but. All right, so we have pretty stiff peaks here, sticking straight up, all balled up in this whisk. I just wanna, okay. All right, so I'm going to take this bag. I've already put a tip in it. I have a pretty big, like a claw tip kind of, I don't know what you call that, like a big star tip. But honestly, if you don't even have a tip, you can just cut the tip off of your piping bag and they'll pipe perfect little circles. I just like the extra little ridges. So I'm gonna take some red because we are going to make peppermint, I think. Where it's going to be like an ode to peppermint. I didn't put any peppermint in the actual meringues, but we're going to dip them in chocolate and then dip them in peppermint. They're gonna be real good. All right, so I'm gonna drip a little bit of this right in here. So you can see there's just one little drop, but I'm going to press it down and sort of coax that red all over. It looks a little spooky, but trust me, it is just red food coloring. So I like to take a cup, put it down into the cup, fold it over, and that makes it really easy to fill that. And I just love making these meringues. So I made these meringues, and a friend of mine who I met on the internet, not all friendships are weird on the internet, some are good. But I met a friend on the internet and she saw that I was making meringues and she was like, oh yeah, I want one, I love meringues. And she was pregnant and on bed rest. And I was like, I'm bringing you meringues. So I drove across town, dropped her off meringues. I assumed she enjoyed them, but literally like a year later, I was over at their house at a garage sale and the husband was like, oh, let me go get, they make, oh gosh, what are those called? It's like not Chef Boyardee. So they make ravioli. And the husband was like, let me go and grab you some of our tomato sauce, like some of our pasta sauce. And I was like, ooh, awesome. So he came back out, he gave me some, and his mother-in-law was there. And she's like, well, you must be special because he does not offer this to everybody. And he's like, yeah, I mean, not everybody drops off meringues for a pregnant lady. And I was like, I forgot about that. But whoop, you never know. You never know what a little kind gesture will get you, especially when it's a pregnant lady. We're going to take our pan. I've already lined it here with some parchment paper. Do not do what I did, which is not use parchment paper one time. And now I have a sheet full of small dots. The whole thing is just little brown dots that I cannot wash off for the life of me. So don't be me. So our first couple probably won't have any red on it, but once the red comes out, it's going to look very pepperminty. Pepperminty. All right, just one little dollop and then lift straight back up. And you get that perfect meringue. I'm starting to see some red. I'm gonna turn it your way so you can start to see the red. Ooh, pretty. See how it looked really scary in here? But when they start to come out, they're like perfect lines. It's science, guys. Ooh. I do have to get used to this YouTube thing because I think I heavy breathe when I bake. And you probably don't want to hear me heavy breathe when I'm baking. So get this last little guy. And I would be lying if I said I've never, but you have to be careful. I do not condone that because these are very sharp. So don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So these are cute. They're perfect. They are going to go in the oven at 200 degrees, very low, I would put them in for about 70 to 75 minutes. And then when they're done, you want to touch them and they don't feel quite dry to the touch, but you want to take them out when they're pretty stiff. 70, 75 minutes. If you make bigger ones, you want to leave them in for up to 90 minutes. But they'll continue to kind of dry out once you take them out, continue to crunch up, but you still want that little soft marshmallow in the inside if you can get it on these. So they look like perfect little peppermint meringues. We're gonna dip those in chocolate afterwards and try and not eat most of them, because we really gotta share these with somebody. Something I really like to do when I'm making meringues is to make a couple little meringue pops. Really popular the last couple years, but it's like a popsicle, but meringue, and it's really cute. So we're just gonna do them on the same tray. We're going to use that same little cup. It has a little meringue little poop in the bottom there. You can cut that out. I think, should we make this a color? Should we make it pink? We're gonna do kind of roses. So I think I'm gonna make it pink. There. 2. So make that really, oh, that's a pretty pink. That's a pretty pink. I was not expecting that. So nice. I just put it in here. And the tip that I'm using is kind of a larger star tip, almost a rose tip. You would use this to make roses on like cupcakes and stuff. Before we used a really close together tooth tip, and you can kind of see the difference there in the teeth of those two. So we're gonna use this one because we're gonna make some pretty roses. So I'm gonna start by piping a couple big dollops, and you want to kind of pipe them far away because you don't want them to join together. But what we're going to do is put these little wooden sporks. How did I even find these wooden sporks? I don't know, they found me. But they're the perfect thing because they really hold on to your meringue. You don't want to be talking with your meringue pop and it just flies off. So we love these sporks. Also, I just like using a spork. And I'm gonna place that spork right there in the middle of the meringue. And then we're gonna sandwich that spork, a spork sandwich. So we're gonna take that piping bag, hold it up here at the top so it doesn't bloosh out the top, technical term, baking term, if you guys didn't know it, bloosh. And then I'm gonna squeeze from the top here. If I need to, if it was kind of a stiffer batter, if it was a buttercream, I could squeeze from down here as well. But this is such a light, seriously so light. So we're gonna make a rose, and we're gonna start in the middle and swirl out. So we're gonna start right here, swirl out. Pretty rose. Lots of roses. And that is going to be the perfect little meringue pop. I love the way these look. And you could use multiple piping tips too for these. Really anything that you want to do. So we want to stick this stick all the way in here. Then we want to give it a little wiggle as we pull it off of this stick. So I'm giving it a little wiggle until you don't really feel that stick anymore right there. Now isn't that cute? All right, we're gonna put that down carefully. We're gonna do it again. So, do something a little different. Ooh, that's pretty. That was not as pretty as the first one. We'll still eat it though. Trust me, I'll still eat it. All right, we need a little bit more meringue in here. This is the last of our meringue, so we have to do something really pretty with it. Do you guys want to do something pretty with it? Okay, now I'm just gonna make little roses. So with my business, one of the things that sells really well for me is these dessert trays. It's almost like a charcuterie, but it's all desserts that I've made or little candies and stuff that I've bought. And it'll be macarons, mini cupcakes, frosted sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, brownies, lemon bars, like all of that kind of stuff piled up. And I like to really top it with these meringues. They're so refreshing and crunchy and delicious. And these ones that are dipped in chocolate are perfect like Christmas and stuff like that. But the roses make such a beautiful touch for a wedding or a shower or anything. And they look a lot more difficult than they actually are. So with the rest of the room here, we're going to pipe some hearts. Using this same tip that we just did all of these with, it's gonna be the same little heart or the same little rose. We're gonna start in the middle and work our way out. Quick little rows. Start in the middle, work your way out. And they can be bigger or smaller. Just a lot of different roses. All right, we might have room for a couple more. Don't kill me. I just want to use all of the meringue because it's delicious. Whoop. There we go. All right, so we're gonna pop this in the oven, 200 degrees, 75-ish minutes. Yum. Those are my son's like favorite. You could give him macarons, he's 2 years old. You can give him macarons, you could give him chocolate chip cookies, you could give him a cupcake, you can give him a whole cake. And what he wants are meringues. All right, so I have some that I already made before. Don't be shocked, they're different colors. So I went with kind of the same colors here for these ones that are gonna be peppermint, but I cut the tip off of a piping bag. So you can see they look great. They look perfectly fine. You don't need a piping tip for that. These ones I think turned out really fun. It's almost like, I'm here in Iowa, you know what this looks like is corn. Corn on the cob. It's corn. Okay, actually it's really good. I don't know why I'm surprised. I make this all the time. Yeah, I love these ones. I'm gonna keep making them. Then I made the little pops. I made them different colors using different tips. They're perfect, just like everything I make. And then these little roses turned out really nice. Can you just see those like on top of a big tray of other goodies? I would definitely go for this. And it's so light. We're filming on Valentine's Day, and I told my husband, do not buy me flowers because they are so expensive on Valentine's Day. Wait until the day after. So I made myself flowers. I can buy myself flowers. All right, we're gonna take these peppermint ones and we're going to dip them in chocolate. And I just melted some like high quality chocolate. I like milk chocolate. It's just my preference, but I mean, you can do dark chocolate. You just do white chocolate for all I care. Do what you want. Stop asking me. Okay, so I'm gonna take these, what I just found out are Star Brights. They're just little peppermint candies. And we're gonna beat the tar out of them with this. All right. I think I'm gonna start with the flat side, but I may explore this little side too. So prepare yourselves, cover your ears. This is not an ASMR channel. I just found out that it's really easy if you don't do it quite as hard. So don't get crazy, just do it nicely. I would say that the teeth work better. You heard it here first. So I don't want any like huge chunks because then it'll kind of get in your teeth. Some of these chunkies are still a little bit too big. I like this business we're working through here. What would you say that's the size of? A half a pea. I don't know, like little. Just look at them. Look at them compared to my hand. I have like a pretty normal sized hand. So do with that what you will. I told him not to get me any candy and don't get me anything for Valentine's Day. Just kidding. Okay, I actually really like the way all of this looks. We don't need that, but I think that looks like a really good texture on those peppermints. And I'm just going to pick the one with the best tail. Is that a tail? And I'm going to dip it in this chocolate. Just the very bottom.
Just a little kiss.
Just a little kiss. See, we just have the bottom. And then rub it around in here. That's the perfect amount. You guys, these are like so good. If you make these, you're going to be addicted to them. I really just want, is it everything? I just want to eat. So I'm just gonna put it right back there. So I'm gonna dip a couple bit more, a few more. I'm gonna dip a few more. Ooh, yummy. Okay, let me dip this one. And I like to just, get some of, you don't need too much chocolate. Oh, that's probably dangerous to say on Valentine's Day. You don't need too much chocolate. I do just want to like, okay, but you know, sharing, we're sharing. Sharing is caring. We're sharing this with someone. I'm not sharing it. My son prefers them without the chocolate and the candy on them, so I am gonna leave a good chunk of these for him. Ooh, what if we dip these ones in chocolate? I've never done that before. Ooh, you know what? The side broke a little bit, so we gotta be a little more careful with it. I just broke that little corner there. They are really delicate. So let me try it with this one and be a little more delicate. Yeah, let's get flowers and chocolate. And these aren't expensive. Well, with the price of eggs these days. Okay, that doesn't work as well. We're trying new things on this channel. Like we're testing out which side of this is better to bash Star Brights with. And we found out the toothy side, the spiky side, the ouchy side, the mountainous side, Mr. Pricklesworth, Pokeberry. Okay. All right, guys, we did it. We made meringues. They were so easy. You guys did it with me. I'm so proud of you. Let's eat one. Okay. Do you think I'm gonna eat it in one bite? Take your wagers. Put your bets down. Get your bets in. Those are good. They're crunchy on the outside, almost like a delicious styrofoam. Not like styrofoam at all. The crushed up peppermints. Even during Christmas, you can just use candy canes. That's what I do. Get those candy canes for sale after Christmas. Use them all year long. Do whatever you want. Stop asking me. I'm gonna eat another one though, but thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode number 1. One of my favorite things, peppermint meringues. I'm gonna eat this one. I'm gonna save a couple for my son. You know, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, don't, whatever, I don't care. Ready?
Okay. Kind of like, yeah. Yeah. And smile at the camera too.